Hey, Miss Marion here. So we're going to be talking about similar triangles. So this is part two because yesterday you should have done your Nearpod. So remember, so I can find missing sides and angles of a similar triangle if given the information. So that's kind of what we're going over for today. So you should have a note page. All right, as we learned yesterday through the Nearpod, there are two different things about similar triangles. One is the corresponding angles are congruent. So the angles, the corresponding, the ones that match up are congruent. So they have the same measure. The second thing about similar triangles, oh, I remember, corresponding are the angles that match up, right? They are congruent is really what that says. The second is the corresponding sides are proportional. Okay, and what does this mean is we can make, so I'm going to put in parentheses, make a fraction equation. We're going to go through this to kind of make sure we understand what that actually means as far as both of them. All right, let's actually focus on example number one first. We want to see if these are similar triangles. So what we need to go ahead and do is we need to find the missing angles in both of these triangles. So I have 21 degrees, 105 degrees. So we know that a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So we're going to say 180 minus 21 minus 105. And so grab your calculator, 180 minus 21 minus 105. And that is 54 degrees. So our missing angle is 54 degrees. Now let's go ahead and let's do the same thing with the second triangle. So we're going to say, well, except for the stuff that's given to us. So we're going to say 180 minus 54 minus 21. Grab a calculator, put that in there. 180 minus 54 minus 21 is 105. So this is 105 degrees. So first of all, we just found the angles. Now let's see if they match up. So here is 21, here is 21. Here is 105, here is 105. Here is 54, here is 54. Now remember, if we want to see something is similar, the angles have to be congruent. Are all the angles that match up, are they the same measure? Yes, they are. So we're going to say yes, similar triangle. Okay. All right, let's try example number two. So same kind of thing. We have a triangle. We're going to go ahead and find this missing angle. We're going to take 180 minus 60 minus 79. So 180 minus 60 minus 79. That is 41 degrees. That's the missing. So I'm going to stick that in my triangle. And then let's do it with the other one. We have 60 and 42. So we're going to say 180. Oh, wrong one. 180 minus 60 minus 42. 80 minus 60 minus 42 in our calculator. Hold on a second. And that is 78 degrees. So now let's go ahead and notice how we have to check all of the angles. So here I have 41. This is 42. Here is 60. 60 and 60. That's awesome. But here this is 79 and this is 78. Are all the angles congruent? There's one in each triangle, that is, but the other two are not. So are these similar triangles? No. Angles aren't congruent. All right, let's go ahead and we're going to start actually going into the sides information. And we know that the sides are proportional, meaning that these are similar triangles here, and we want to go ahead and we want to find this missing side right here. And so we want to match up the sides that are corresponding. The ones that match up, we have to put them together. There are different ways of actually doing the fraction, And I like to put the sides together and then solve. So I'm going to say 15, so I'm going to say 30, let's start with that one first, over 15. So I grab one side and another side, and I'm going to say equals, and then I have my other side that I have, so 36 goes with x. So pretty much what I did is I took this triangle and I rotated it, is kind of how I looked at it. So then we're going to have 36 over x. Now you're like, hey, Miss Marion, I can set this up a different way. Absolutely. I just like to put the sides together in the triangles and then the sides together, like one for one triangle, one for another, one for one triangle, one for another. But I like to put the sides together. That's just how my brain understands it. But can you set this up a different way? Yes. How you solve it is exactly the same. We're going to cross multiply. So we're going to say 30 times x. And we're going to say 15 times 36. So this is 7th grade stuff. So cross multiply and divide. Remember? So 15 times 36 is 540. We have 30x. 30 is multiplying by x. So then we are going to go ahead and we are going to divide by 30 on both sides. Move that up just a little bit. So we have 540 divided by 30, and that's going to be 18. So this missing side is going to be 18. This is what it means by the sides are proportional, or we can make a fraction equation. This is what I meant. So we can take the sides and we can make them into fractions. So this is how we find one of the sides when we have a missing triangle in similar triangles. All right, so let's try that again with example number 4. We actually want to find all the sides. So I want to find this one, and I want to find this one. Okay, so we kind of have to set it up 2 different ways, 2 different times. So let's go ahead and let's solve for x first. So I'm going to say x over, and I like to pick the same one from the other triangle, put them together. 18 is going to equal, and then I have to pick the triangle, the side triangles that have both of them have numbers. So see how this one has a number and this has a number? I'm going to put those 2 together. So that I'm going to say 2 over 5. And again, here I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cross multiply. So I have 5 times x, 18 times 2, so 18 times 2 is 36. 5 times x is 5x. Then we're going to go ahead, we're going to divide by 5. So we have 36 divided by 5, and that is 7.2. Now, is it okay to have 7.2 as an answer? Absolutely. That is totally fine. But actually, I'm going to put that in red because that's what that side was. So we're going to say 7.2 equals our x. So this is 7.2. Now we're going to go ahead and do this again, except for we're going to solve for our y. So I'm going to say y over 15. Those are the 2 that go together. So y over 15 is going to equal, and then I still have to use the 2 and the 5 because those are the ones that have the numbers in it. If I put the other things together, we're not going to be able to go ahead and solve that. So again, we're going to go ahead and cross multiply and divide. So I have 15 times 2, 5 times y. So 15 times 2 is 30. Then we have 5y. We are going to go ahead and divide by 5 on both sides. So then 30 divided by 5 is 6. So then my y is going to equal to 6. So notice how we are able to use the proportional fraction equation to go ahead and find the missing sides in example number 4. So what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and try example number 5. So go ahead and pause right now, try it. I will point out we are looking for x and y. So go ahead and try that yourselves. Pause right now, try it, and then come back to me. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to solve for y. So here's y. Which one goes with it? That's going to be the 12. So we're going to say y over 12. And then let's find the one that has the numbers. So notice how these two on the bottom have numbers. So we're going to say 8, 21.6. And then we're going to go ahead and 12 times 8, 21.6 times y. 12 times 8 is 96. 21.6 y. So then we're going to go ahead and we are going to divide by 21.6 on both sides. Here, let's make that a little bit easier. And that's divide. So we're going to say 96 divided by 21.6. Okay, so this one's a little bit, it's 4.4 repeated. So we're just going to say 4.4 repeated is going to equal ry. And that's okay. All right, so let's go ahead and solve for x. So we have x over, which x matches up with 5. So we're going to say x over 5 equals, and then we have 8 and 21.6. Again, we're going to cross multiply and divide. So we're going to have 5 times 8, 21.6 times x. 5 times 8 is 40. Still have the 21.6 times x. We're going to go ahead and divide by 21.6 on both sides. We have 40 divided by 21.6. And then this is also a really kind of weird decimal. Let's round it to the nearest tenths. So we have 1.8518. Let's take just one decimal place. So we're gonna look at the guy next to him. So is the guy next to him 5 or above? Yes. Then we're gonna give the original a shove and make it 1.9. I will say on our homework we're not gonna have decimals. But if you are dealing with decimals, we can. But this is the way that we go ahead and we solve for missing sides when we have similar triangles. All right, so we're going to take this page. We're going to fold it hamburger style. And where do we tape this? Go ahead and look at the top. We're going to go ahead and tape it on page 79. So go ahead and make sure you tape it into your workbook on page 79. Okay, so homework for today is the 7-2 similar polygons worksheet. Again, this does go into Canvas, and make sure you get that stuff done. So have a good day. Thanks. Bye.